Good evening, everyone. This is Government TV, and it's beautiful to be here today on the inaugural and premiere of the online TV show called The Best You. And I'm sure that you're ready for the impact this will deliver. I am so excited about this. I don't know about you, but I am, and I'm trusting that you will be as excited as I am. And so we are here and it is all ready to go down beautifully well, too. And so I am asking you to, keep your dial on. This is going to be a beautiful time. And I am so excited about this. Before we kick off formally, uh, we would like to take a music break. And the concept of this show is going to be off the hook, is going to be unconventional. Our discussion is going to be completely, uh, you know, out of the box, really. And so it's not going to be a regular kind of show. And so, if you're joining from any part of the world, I would like for you to indicate your name. Of course, it will show on the timeline. And of course, if you're getting us loud and clear, as well as the city where you're watching us from. So, we're going to take our music break, and my co host will be back with me just immediately after the music break. It's going to be a beautiful time as we start off tonight. So don't touch that dial. Stay hooked. It's an amazing time that it's about to hit you. So let's do this. Let's do this together. Okay. It's something that you will not regret being part of. So this music break, we have the right to this video. His name is Favor Johnson, Grace and Law.
By strength shall no man prevail. Favor Johnson. All of my life I've been made to believe. All of my life I've been made to see. I've been told sin leads to death. So true. I've been told don't compromise. I've been warned of retribution. I've been told of karma, and that he that sinned would surely die. And so I feared sin. I never wanted hell. Surely never wanted hell. And so every day I tried not to live in sin. Every day I fought so hard to do what is right. The more I tried, the more I failed. In flesh I tried, in flesh I failed. Until Jesus came and said to me, it is by grace, it's not by power. By my love you are free. It is by grace, it's not of power. By Jesus we are free. The law was obsolete. It could not save Moses. It cannot save you. So God sent Jesus Christ. The law was obsolete. It could not save Moses, it cannot save I. So God sent Jesus Christ. Jesus paid all the price. He was surely crucified. By his blood I'm purified. By his love I'm justified.
It is
By the grace of God we stand here today.
It's by Christ's love we are saved today.
Oh, we are saved today.
It is by grace, it's not by
The
power.
race is not to the swift,
It's by
neither is the
Christ's
battle
love we
to the
are
very
free
strong.
today.
It's not by work, my friend,
It is by grace,
by the grace of
not
God.
by power.
I stand here today,
By Christ's love you are
justified.
free.
All right, good evening once again. This is Gomnet TV. We are excited to have you here on the program, The Best You, The Best You, The Better You, rather, The Better You TV show. And my co host is the exceptional Dr. Moses Paul. We call him Mo Mad Mo Paul. Dr. Mo, good evening. All right, Dr. Mo, can you hear me? All right, it appears he's having technical challenge. Dr. Mo is joining us from the city of Abuja, and together we will be, doing all we can to ensure that you get the best out of this program, which commences today. Dr. Mo, good evening again. Can you hear me? All right. We're having a technical glitch from his end. We will have him join us any moment from now. Uh, we will have to deal with this network challenge uh, in the next couple of minutes. We'll have to deal with that. Dr. Mo, good evening once again. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes. I think I'm back now. I can hear you now, and I'm live here with us.
Yeah. So, how excited are you about the Better You TV show?
Better You TV, I am ecstatic. I mean, we have waited for this for so long, and today I just want the world to just relax because this is going to be such an out of the box relaxing moment where people are going to learn, they're going to get wowed, they're going to be so it's a learning curve, it's an unlearning curve, and it's a relearning curve. So I just need everyone to
Absolutely.
just relax as we dive into the various things that will bring about the better you. There's always a better you in everything we do, and this is what
Absolutely.
this is about.
All right, for emphasis, Dr. Moses Paul is a management and leadership consultant, a social activist, and the team lead of the craziest church on the planet, the My Church community in Abuja, Nigeria. And so, together, we will be sharing um, conversations and discussions on the subjects of faith, family, finance, and nation building. And
Building.
in this first edition, we're just going to look at the basic synopsis of what we'll be talking about, what our
Mhm.
viewers should be expecting. And so I would ask Dr. Mo to start with giving us an idea of what we will expect on the subject of faith. I will talk about finance, he will talk about family, and I will come back to talk about uh, nation building.
Nation
So
building.
let's start with the subject of faith. what will the
Faith.
Better You TV show be offering our viewers on the subject of faith?
Now, this is so exciting because um, life as we know it is something that we need to be conscious of.
Absolutely.
Conscious, we need to be awoke, to certain realities, that occupies the space and time of our lives. And one of the ingredient, and I dare say, let's say a virtue, one of the virtues of life, that we need to imbibe, and that will help us be able to propel and also bring the future to us, even while we live and move and go about our existence, is what faith is about. Life, as a matter of fact, the functions and dysfunctions of life are all as a result of the values and the virtues that we are able to either cultivate or develop. And faith plays a very critical role where the virtues and the values of life are concerned. If you don't have it properly, then it's going to show up. And if you have it ensured and well developed, then it's also going to show up. So I want people to understand that these are the critical things we're going to be discussing, we're going to be diving into, to help people to be able to use this virtue and value systems that we're going to be talking about. As you come in to talk about finance is a value system. Faith is a virtue that we must develop to be able to even do value system. So we're going to be intertwining a lot of things that will help people to be able to begin to decipher, begin to clearly see in a simple, strategic, broken down system, not with any ambiguity, that will allow people to be able to look at their lives, in the various areas. Look at how you can apply yourself to family, to nation building, interacting with finance, and then talking about the power block of faith. So this is what people are going to expect. And for I know that majority of our viewers are religious and spiritual people who have been in the space of faith, but they're going to be seeing faith in a simplified dimension, that will allow them to be able to, almost like, how do I put it? The example I can give with it is law. Ideologies are what drives policies. But again, it can be very difficult to understand policies, especially if you have in our terrain in Africa and in Nigeria, and I dare say even the world over, it can be quite ambiguous, because depending on wherever you're listening to us right now in any part of the world, I can assure you that most people have not read the constitution of their nation, but they can understand. They can understand law. Why can they understand law? They might not be able to understand policies or the ideologies that drive the policy, but they can understand law. Law is that smallest unit of broken down ideologies and policies to which every man on the street can be able to take and work with. Now, that's how we're going to bring faith to you. We're going to bring faith to that minimum dimension that a child, a boss, a lawyer, a teacher, a farmer, a father, a president will be able to see it, be able to tap into it, and be able to use it. This is what the Better You is about. And this is what the angle to which we're going to be bringing faith to people, to relate with.
In other words, we're going to demystify faith. We're going to make it as ordinary as you can possibly understand it, so that
absolutely
you will be able to apply. There are so many faith concepts and religious terminologies that are practically not possible to apply in real life situation, right?
That's right.
A lot of people who understand the subject of theology as a concept, most of the time, do not even know how to practice it. And so faith will be demystified on the Better You TV show. Speaking a little about faith, Dr. Mo, what would you say the ordinary, what we call in religious circle, the member of a laity council, the member of a laity council, not the clergy council, the laity council will be able to take away from every discussion of faith that we have on the Better You? How will the person be, positioned to be able to live life better?
I'll give an example of how one of the impact that the Better You TV, Better You network, Better You program is going to bring to people. Now you see, it's almost like, and whether or not you're a Christian and you're listening to us, we're going to be using biblical principles to explain a lot of things, because this is what anchors the Better You program and online TV. So here we are. Abraham, who is justifiable, can be referred to as the father of faith. He's been with God, he's walked with God for 25 years, but he couldn't see the very simple bit him to see. Abraham couldn't see it. This is a father of faith, but he couldn't see it. But one day, after 25 years, God called him and said, come, my son, come. Look up. And in looking up, he saw the better him. This is what the Better You is going to bring to you. That thing that you probably have been with, but you can't touch base with. You can't understand it in the practical terms of application. This is what the Better You is going to bring to you. So you might have been in church all your life. You might have been in the financial world all your life. You might have been trying to do nation building all your life. You might have been trying to raise family all your life. I want you to be assured, this Better You is something that is going to reflect. You're going to see it like a mirror. We're going to be able to paint pictures, bring out biblical principles, and you're going to see it simplified like Abraham. You will simply look up. You will look at the Better You TV, listen to the Better You TV, and suddenly, like a lightning, like a miracle, like a scale of your eyes, you're going to understand how to apply faith, how you see family, how you look at nation building in a way that you've never known it before. This is what I want you to look forward to as we journey in the Better You TV show.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mo. That is a bit of a synopsis of what to expect in the thematic area of faith. For our viewers, you need to know that the Better You TV show is straight talk on the subject of faith, finance, family, and nation building. So I want to also whet our appetite concerning the subject of finance. On Sunday, this last Sunday, I was speaking to folks in church, and I said to them that the subject of finance is always relegated to the background, especially among faith-based organizations or faith-based people, because they tend to want to alienate themselves from the subject of finance on the basis of, well, we have to be humble. Lack of money does not make you humble. As a matter of fact, it makes you poor. It makes you
angry.
Hungry and angry.
And angry.
All right. Yeah. So, not talking about what you constantly think about is the hypocrisy, the height of hypocrisy. Because I asked the question: since you walked into this church hall or into this building or the premises, if you have not thought about money issues, please raise your hand up. A few people raised their hands up, and I told them, no, it's not possible. And when I looked around, the folks who raised their hands up were those who were not, they were dependent on others who think about money. So there were people
Mm.
who were not taking responsibility for even their own lives at that moment. So what you constantly think about is what God is interested in, is what you should be thinking of finding solutions to. So finance is a subject that, the moment you wake up in the morning, the highest traffic point of every city is where everybody is heading
It's
towards
absolutely.
the issue of money. Okay, if you remove
Mm.
money from the equation of life, of course, the major traffic that you have in the morning that is directed into one single area will be reduced. You see, the
Absolutely.
truth is, even in biblical terms, uh, our Lord Jesus spoke about money more than any other subject, including
I
hell
agree.
and heaven. Okay, all the
Yep.
parables that he gave, the parable of a talent, that's money. The parable of the woman who lost her coin. All right,
Mm-hmm.
the parable of the master who was going on a far journey and decided to give his properties to the servants, to his estate, to the servant to look after. The parable of the prodigal son, it's
Yeah.
about money.
Money.
He shared money. All right. So it's not to elevate the subject of money above what is most important, but ignoring it is to our own detriment. All right.
Mm.
Because even the scripture says that money answered all things, at
All
least from
things.
within the concept of how you live on earth, money answers all
Mm.
things.
Mm.
So we are going to be talking about money. The reason why we need to talk about money also is the fact that a lot of people are under bondage of
Mm.
poverty because of ignorance. There
Yeah.
are so many educated people who do not have what it takes to make money. All right. There are people who are engineers, doctors, lawyers. They do not have money knowledge. They don't have the knowledge, the body of knowledge to make their profession produce profit. Now, in medical school, they don't teach you how to make money. In the law school, they don't teach you how to make money. All right. In whatever profession you're involved in, there is no entrepreneurial capacity building
Yeah.
for you. You just get the hard stuff of your profession. So the soft skill of how to make money is one of the things that we will talk about on Gomnet TV's The Better You show. Now, there
Centers.
is, yes, there is this concept of, okay, I need money, but how do I make money? All right, what is the purpose of the money that I make? All of that we'll be talking about them. And how do I make money rightly based on my
Mm.
values, based on the virtues that
Mm.
I am espoused to? How do I make money, outside of the very wicked system that is in existence within my society, within my world? How can I be legit,
Mm.
within the money circle, with my faith on one hand and my ability to be able to deal with money on the other hand? Now, the fact that we hear from scriptures that, now, the reason why we mention scriptures on this show is because we are faith based primarily. And like Dr. Moore mentioned, faith is the principle, that we work with. Faith is the virtue. Now, the other items that we will be talking about, like finance, family, and nation building, will be rooted on the principles that we understand from the standpoint of faith. All right. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter which faith you subscribe to. I don't think there is any
Mm.
faith on earth that subscribes to corruption. No faith on earth subscribes to
Exactly.
poverty or
Exactly.
subscribe to dysfunctional family system. No faith
Or
does that.
ignorance.
Or
Mm.
ignorance. Okay, every faith and the founders of all of the faith have some of these subject matters treated on the principles that we'll be looking at all right, even though our primary faith foundation is a Christian faith. But if you're watching this program, you're going to learn so much. Now, this is not a religious program. So, like Dr. Mo said, we are going to be as practical as possible. We're going to be as down to earth as possible, as much as you can find means and ways to apply what you're learning in your own life, and you will see results. The idea is to make you better. The idea is to put more money in your pocket through the things and the services that you're able to render based on the values you bring to the table.
Absolutely.
That's the desire. Because for finance and for making money, if you have nothing to offer, don't expect money. There is nothing like free money anywhere.
No
if
way.
you're getting any free money, then the source is suspect. The method that you're using is suspect. Even those who are involved in armed robbery do calculative thinking before they plan their robbery. So we are talking about principle-centered, legitimate ways of earning money and how to manage finance. Somebody told me today that every money that we need is within our sphere of influence. If we can manage our resource, the resource of knowledge, the resource of relationship, and the resource of the ability to be able to turn around our capacity to give value, then we will never be poor. We will never be poor. So this and many other things with respect to how to be able to stay above troubled waters in finance is what we'll be talking about concerning the area of finance. I will go over to Dr. Mo as he gives us an idea of what to expect in the realm of family with respect to all of the things that we'll be learning from here.
Yes, and also to add just a nudge to finance, we're treating finance in Gabnet TV and under this Better You show also because of the so many misconceptions on finances, especially with the people of faith. There's so much misconceptions, and you better get ready because like I said in the beginning, again, it's going to be a lot of shock to some people and unlearning and then relearning, and we all are going to be learning together, and some people are going to be hearing for the first time that you don't need to be a Christian to be rich. You don't need to be a Muslim to be rich. You don't need to be religious to be rich. You just need to be principled. You need to understand how money works. And so we're going to be diving into so very many breaking limitations and misconceptions as concerning finance and all of the items. So you just get ready in the build-up, and also talking about family. We're going to be looking at family because essentially family is everything. And when I mean everything, what people don't know and what people do not realize is that a lot of things that had led to the collapse of several systems within our society today is as a result of family, the dysfunctions of family. The family is actually the first gate of any society, is the first level of the building block, is the first place that nature, God, created for every living thing, every human being to be nurtured. Is the place of the family. There are things that you're not even supposed to learn from this show. Your children are not supposed to learn from this show. They are supposed to learn it from family. There are things that you shouldn't learn from school. There are things you should never learn from your religious centers. If you're going to learn them, there should be a secondary learning place. There are things that government structures and anything should never give you as a human being. This is the value of the family. There are primary foundational structures of life. The family is the first place to learn about faith, about finance, about nation building. The basics of everything in life should be in the place of the family. And this is why we're going to be looking at family. We're going to be looking at the role of a husband, the role of a wife, role of a children. What is family? Why is family so critical to everything? Any nation and any people where the family structure is broken, that nation is gone, that community is gone. So we're going to be taking the issue of family very, very seriously and looking at some things that is going to excite a lot of you listening today, and it's going to form a lot of building blocks, for foundations and generations. And as you grow through life, you're going to see some of these key areas we're going to be discussing play out, and that will help to be able to understand the area and how important the family as a system and as a block is, as we discuss this.
If you're just joining us, this is the premiere edition of the Better You TV show under the auspices of Government TV. And my co-host is the exceptional Dr. Moses Paul, who is on the show from Abuja. My name is Godwin Oguche, and I'm in the Kano Center of Government TV. We are discussing the 4 thematic areas that will be featuring on the show in the next couple of months. We will be here every Thursday evening by 9 p.m. And we have been taking a look at the different thematic areas, trying to x-ray and give a synopsis of what to expect with respect to the conversations that we'll be having right here. Before we talk about nation building, and that's where we will end our conversation today, is the subject of nation building is so massive, especially with the things happening in our nation, that we will, for every edition, even if we're speaking of family, we will devote a measure of time to nation building, because we're in a critical situation in our land. And so the remaining part of the conversation today will be giving you an insight into what to expect in the subsequent broadcast on nation building. And we will be talking about some current issues and how we may, bring the conversation to the front burner and see how those who are responsible or those who don't feel responsible can do something about it. But we will take another music break. And today we are using Favor Johnson as our guest artist, and because we have permission to use the show, use his song on this show. And in this particular video, I didn't tell you, Dr. Mo, I saw you on this video. I saw you on the video. and recently I discovered that with everything that you do, you have time to rap. That's serious. You are rapping.
Much more. They're going to see much more. Yeah.
Wow. You rap. I used to have issues with rap, but that's a discussion for another day. Yeah, it's a conversation for another day, because my son started rapping at one point in his music adventure, and for the life of me, I didn't understand anything he was saying.
Oh boy.
He went to the studio to do a single with some friends, and when he played the song for me, I couldn't understand what they were saying. But like I said, that's a discussion for another day.
It's the better you. It's the other side of your better you that we're going to discuss. Yeah.
All right. And you will have to make me understand why rap is very important.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's take this music break. We'll be right back.
It is daybreak. I am here again by your mercy. Lord of mercy. Yeah. All because we are alive. We celebrate, I am grateful. You've been good. You have kept me. Now I walk among the big and the mighty. I have more reasons to celebrate. Celebrate. I'm gonna celebrate. Everybody come on, celebrate. I'm gonna celebrate. that you gave your life for one like me. By the stripes you bear, now I am healed. I'm your temple, oh God, and I've got heavens in my heart. Celebrate, I'm gonna celebrate. Let the living join me celebrate. I'm gonna celebrate. Celebrate, everybody come and let us. If you're alive and well, if you can listen to this music, if you're not deaf and dumb, come along. By now you should be grateful. It is the living that can praise God for His goodness and mercy over your life. Oh, it's a privilege, not a right. Now that you're counted among the living, and if you can move, breathe, walk upon the earth, nigga say. If you can move, if you can eat, if you can go to the loo, celebrate me, say. Jesus, I celebrate you. Thank you for counting me among the.
All right, you're welcome back from that music break. It is exciting to have you here with us. I see that the music video was breaking, even though the audio was quite good there, but the video was breaking, and we'll try to work on that. We didn't get to see where Dr. Mo appeared on the video. All right, so we'll fine tune that and get it back. I actually want to pick that video where you were rapping. I don't know where to get it. I will look for it. I will look for it and then get it so that we can play it here.
It's
And
okay.
you were doing it with all seriousness.
Yeah.
I just opened my mouth like, who is this? All right.
Uh,
You're welcome back to the conversation. We're having a bit of, trying to whet your appetite about the program, the Better You TV show. And we have talked about faith, we have talked about finance, we have talked about family. We're going to talk about nation building. Um, the nation building basically is going to focus on the conversations on Nigeria, because this is our primary abode. Uh, the environment where we operate from is critical to the success that we attain. And if we don't have the right environment, we cannot be productive to the level and the capacity that we have been wired with. And it bothers me to know that the second largest continent in terms of population in the world is the weakest. We contribute the smallest to the economy of the world. Africa contributes less than 5% to world economic GDP and all of that.
Hey.
There are five companies in Silicon Valley, five tech companies. Their GDP for the next 5 years is over, is beyond the entire GDP of the African continent. Five companies within one environment, five companies within walking distance of each other have gross domestic product in total beyond 55 nations in the entire African continent. It's a sad narrative, and it bothers me that one of the challenges that we have that has not been able to, respond to any solution, if any, is the challenge of leadership. And I don't know why it is so difficult. And from the Maghreb nations of North Africa to the West African nations, to the Horn of Africa, to Southern Africa, the story is the same. You know,
Same.
we thought South Africa was going to be the shining example. The moment apartheid ended and the blacks majority rule became the talk of town, and we started seeing the rot that is Africa right there in a country that was already taking the place of taking its place among the Committee of Nations. All of
Mhm.
a sudden, it is it is you know banded together with the rest of the continent. And while you speak about Africa, you cannot ignore Nigeria, because out of every five black people, one is a Nigerian.
Mm.
So, and to ignore us or to ignore ourselves will be undoing Africa, really. Because if Nigeria
Absolutely.
gets it right, the rest of Africa will follow.
Absolutely.
The other day, I was just thinking about the the West Coast, the Africa of the West, Western Africa, what we call the
Mm.
ECOWAS. If you remove Nigeria from the mix, the remaining 14 nations, they cannot hold themselves together. There are countries that depend on Nigeria to survive.
Mm.
Oh, we're talking about closing the border, and okay, the entire border closure didn't affect our border with Benin Republic really, because trade was still happening.
Yeah.
I know the last time that there was total border shutdown by the Obasanjo government, the government of Benin Republic had to literally come to Abuja to say, you don't want us to survive, you
Mm.
know." So the entire population of West Africa, of West Africa, if you take Nigeria out, it's not up to the population of Nigeria.
Yeah.
So if Nigeria gets it right, then the rest of Africa and the rest of the black race will be proud.
Yes, sir.
So why we cannot get it right is a major concern, and we cannot stop talking because we do not have another country besides
That's
this
right.
space. If Nigeria unravels, where are we going to? Who go west? You're going to Niger or Benin Republic, or you go north, Chad and Cameroon. The south is the Atlantic.
Yeah.
Okay, so where do we go? These are some of the things that we'll be looking at, and we will be surveying policies, programs, governance issues. We'll be looking as the next election cycle is coming close. We'll be looking at matters relating to how we can engage in the process. So, let me hear the thoughts of my co-host on this subject matter and how we will be proceeding, and then we will take a topical issue with the 10 minutes that we have left and talk about how you know those in authority are handling it and what can be done better. Dr. Mo.
Yeah, just I mean, listening to you x-ray some of the things that we're going to be looking at, and of course, like you rightly said, primarily the focus has to be on Nigeria. I have been opportune to be at least 15, 20 African countries, and the one thing you see on the street, whether you're in Ghana, you're in Sierra Leone, or you are in Liberia, they are looking up to Nigeria. These nations want, they can't wait for Nigeria to get up on her feet. They look up to us. I remember being in Kenya a few years ago, and holding a lecture with some of my white friends, and the black Kenyans approached and said, where did you get your boldness? You speak so articulate and better than your white counterparts. And averagely, the rest of Africa, they want to be like Nigerians, and this is just something that is common and natural with us. So I would agree with you 100% that even those who are watching from the other part of Africa, they would they expect us to zero in on Nigeria, to look at why our nation is where it is right now. How come the most populous nation on the earth, is groveling economically, it's in disarray politically, and then is confused spiritually, and then is completely ravaged by terrorists and bandits and unknown gun people security wise. I mean, so as you look forward here, we're going to paint the picture very clearly, not just in analysis, but here on Governor TV and on the Better You, you're going to see the role you need to play as a person in terms of security, in terms of faith, which is the religious system, and our spiritual balance, which is very important because of the role Nigeria plays in terms of the religious economy. And then we'll look at also the area of leadership, like my co-host has mentioned. And these are critical points that we'll look at, because at the end of the day, everything rises and falls on leadership. And guess what? There cannot be any meaningful, sustainable progress and development if we don't have what? Peace, equity, justice, rightness, which I will summarize as what? As security. With the insecurity that is all over the place, we cannot build. They cannot be nation building. And so part of what we're going to be sharing with you is under the nation building is to look at these critical areas, because as we attack, we address, we paint picture and allow you
Okay, I think we have a network challenge from Dr. Mo.
Okay, I think
go
I'm
ahead.
back. Okay.
Yes.
As we share the light for people to see their better self in the area of security, leadership, economy, religious, all of this is what will accumulate for us building the nation. And this is why this is so critical to the discussion on the Better You.
Absolutely. That takes us quickly to the burning issue right there in the city where you are in Abuja. A few days ago, some unknown gunmen, like we have always called them, invaded the staff quarters of the University of Abuja. And the staff quarters is right there by the highway on the Giri Gwagwalada axis of the city. It's not even the university itself that is a bit exclusive and isolated to the right side of the road on your way to Lokoja, at the back of Gwagwalada. This is in the middle of the city, so to say. And of course, the staff quarters do not have a perimeter fence. And we have been talking about the fact that these areas are soft spots for these guys to attack, because the university is the educational sector is part of the attack strategy of these evil men, or these bandits as they are called. And the authorities should have done something about securing this place all this while. At the back of the staff quarters is a vast land that is in the background of that place you have some mountains that can hide all kinds of evil.
Yes.
Yet
as a matter of fact, let me
in the middle of the night, for them to be attacked like that and 3 persons abducted. No, it is undesirable. Like what the Niger State governor was saying some few months ago, and they were not taking him serious. He said they are close to the capital, and that if they can attack Niger State with reckless abandon, then of course the federal capital city is not safe.
Next.
Now we're seeing it right in our own, with our own eyes. It's happening. And the response from the authorities, as always, has been quiet. I don't see any. I've been watching the news. I've been looking out for response from the highest authority in the land, and it has been dead silence, more or less.
Yeah.
What should we do to secure our cities in the face of the insecurity? It's not as if it's happening in Zamfara or Kebi or Kasina. It's not like it's allowed, but it looks like a far-flung area from the seat of government. How are we sure the National Assembly will not be invaded tomorrow? So I don't know what we can, begin to do as a country to stem the tide of this insecurity. Is it that it is beyond the security forces, or we are overwhelmed? What are your thoughts, Dr. Mo?
Incidentally, I can't wait for next week for us, probably on the nation building, because it's so critical and on the front burner. Most likely, we might even begin to look at zero in on security. But just to share a little for our viewers, so that they can have a background understanding of how critical and how serious the issue of security under the nation building we're talking about is that, first of all, these are my lecturers.
Mm.
Um, Professor Etim and Professor Joseph. These are people that they were not even professors during my undergraduate, they were doctors. When I was doing my undergraduate, this is over 20 years ago. So these are people I know personally and people that have taught me. So we're not talking about stories anymore. These are my people. This is my University of Abuja, where I both did my master's and my PhD. This is my school we're talking about, ravaged completely, taking senior lecturers away. But where are we going from here? Or what is the status quo? And like you rightly said, I have to post some news even this evening, where the VC was the one that had an
Okay, we seem to be having another glitch from Abuja, where my co-host is speaking from. So I pray that he comes back on before we sign off. And the subject matter of discussion right now, as we wrap up this premiere edition of the Better You TV show, is the subject of security. And we are looking at how the University of Abuja staff quarters was violated by unknown gunmen, and they abducted three individuals who are university staff. And as of this afternoon, the abductors, or the kidnappers, have asked for a ransom of 150 million naira, right? Two lecturers and one son of a lecturer. So they're asking for 50 million naira per head of each of the adoptees. This is a very serious challenge. And my co host was trying to make sense of it, and he said that um, these lecturers are folks that he knew personally, they were his teachers. So if he had at any point underrated the effect of the security challenge in Nigeria, it's almost like the chickens have come home to roost. It is like the trouble is right before him. And there are many families in Nigeria who have lost loved ones, who have experienced the horror of kidnapping and all
Okay.
of that.
I don't know if you can hear.
Yes, I
Okay.
can hear you. So I want you to land your thoughts before we
Okay.
sign
Let
off.
me just quickly do a wrap up because the network.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we've not heard a word from our president, and like you rightly said, only the VC was the one interfacing with the security operatives and reassuring the people that they're going to do everything they can to get these people back. But we're going to dive into this security stuff critically and given some of the experience that I've had, we're going to be sharing in detail with people. I've worked in the Maiduguri axis, and I've also had the opportunity to interface with some of these Fulani headsmen, whatever you call them, or the terrorists. I've engaged with them, and we're going to share some tips from what the leadership should be doing and where they what they're supposed to do. But when the late Dr. Obadiah Melafia spoke about these things, they say it was conspiracy theory. And incidentally, today, Dr. Obadiah Melafia, we attended the service of songs, and he'll be laid to rest tomorrow. He made it categorically clear that a time will come as the window of the 2021-2022 opens, that they're going to come into the city and pick people. Word for word, the things he said are happening right now. We will not be surprised if in the next few days they begin to pick people up from Transcorp Hilton and Wuse and other places, because they're already here in Abuja. They're occupied from the west to the north to all the areas surrounding Abuja. We're already surrounded. And to land my thoughts, I want to say this, that 34,000 policemen have been earmarked and directed to move to Anambra for the elections. 34,000 policemen are moving to Anambra for the elections. Not 50, not 100. What will happen if 1,000 police people or military people are unleashed on any time a kidnap case is mentioned? So I know, like we're going to be discussing on the Better You show, critical decisions and actions that can be taken to bring this to an end. And we're going to show the leadership complicitness and the gap in the leadership for why this has been allowed to go on. But because of the sake of our time, and because, of course, this is just to whet your appetite, we're going to really dig in deep. And you better get ready, because on the nation building, there will be no holds barred. It's going to be straight talk and direct. But this is to help you see the gap and what is there. This The insecurity problem can be taken care of. And I'd like to quote one of the Nigeria's famous leader, late General Sani Abacha. He said, anytime any insecurity problem persists more than 48 hours, the government of the day is involved with it. That's where I will leave the thought for today. But I want to say that as you listen to us, we're going to see the nitty-gritty analysis on the security architecture. What should be done, what is not done, how we move out of it. This is better you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Mo. It's been a beautiful 1 hour of projecting into the future. And the future starts from next week as to what we will be doing with the Better You TV show on Government TV. Um, like you have already let the cat out of the bag. We'll be talking about nation building next week, and security will be our focus. How can Nigeria be brought out of the current security quagmire? How can we, provide the right leadership that will, equip those who are responsible for securing our nation to do their jobs right? How can we get around those who are uh, fifth columnists who are involved in snitching on our security and
Mm.
selling out, even though they are paid to secure the country? So, some of those challenges are uh, responsible for the inability of the security forces, and of course, funding. What about the issue of retiring senior officers, because a junior officer was promoted to become chief of army staff, chief of air staff. What happens to the body of experience that you have trained, and because of nepotistic appointments, you just wipe out 20 major generals, 20 air vice marshals, because you want a particular person. So that level of experience is dispensed with on the altar of political expedience, and the security of a nation suffers for it. All of that are things that I believe that we can talk about. Now, you may say, you have been talking, you guys have been talking. What do you think has been happening? The truth is that this thing works. When you put the word out there, the words are spiritual. They take a life of their own. And words can even take people out in
Absolutely.
terms of much more than wars can take guys out of the earth. Words have got power, and that's the reason why any nation that is gagged, they are done for. And so the reason why we fight and insist
Mm.
that the freedom of a people be upheld, and the freedom to speak and to be heard, is the life wire. As a matter of fact, it's the last lifeline, the last strand of a guitar that plays the music of nationhood. And we're not going to allow it to be taken out of our hand. If you stop speaking, then things stop happening. As it is
Mm.
in spiritual matters, so it is in nation building. And that's what
Absolutely.
we ensure that what we're
Absolutely.
doing in Government TV and on the Better You show is talk. We are talking. We're talking. And the reason why it has an effect on you is because it carries a measure of power. We're not in the same place, but you're hearing us, you're seeing us, the words having an effect on you. That's the reason, that's how the word will have an effect on those in authority. Whether they want to hear it or not, they will get to hear it, and it will have the desired results.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being with us on Government TV today on the Better You show. Thank you so much, Dr. Mo, for giving up the time to be a co-host.
Thank you
As a matter
too.
of fact, because you are in Abuja, all right, the next week's show, uh, you will be the
Mm.
main host. I will just be contributing, because I know that from your end we
Okay.
have we have more body of knowledge to be able to water the ground of nation building, and if it is possible, uh, as time permits
Yes. So we'll
us,
give the,
we might get.
ground zero experience.
Yes, yes. And then that's the nature of this show. It is a practical, down to earth, straight talk on the major thematic areas that we're focused on. And so next week we're starting with nation building. Keep a date with us, and ensure that you stay safe and be the better you. Thank you once again, Dr. Mo, as we sign off. God bless you, Nigeria. God bless you everywhere that
Thank
you're
you.
listening to
Be
us.
the better you.
Enjoy the rest of the night.